Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you are listening from. All protocols duly observed. I welcome you to this amazing session tonight where you will get to learn how to understand and make use of the RQTMI Excel templates. RoyalQ is a knowledge-based system, meaning you need to understand, you need to learn and understand how to make use of the bots to trade for you. It is a do it yourself, meaning that you have to do it yourself, but you need the right knowledge to be able to instruct the robots to operate or to trade for you. It is a semi-automated bot, meaning that you have to give it instructions. All right, so my name is Coach Mo, and please pay attention to what I am about to share with you guys tonight. In fact, get your writing materials, should in case you might want to jot down some things. Very, very important. So do not let anyone deceive you that RioQ is not working. Whoever says it is not working, that person joined because of making money, just to make money for profit, but not forgetting that before you make the money, you need to understand the business. So you cannot come to get started with RoyalQ without being interested in learning the business, how the business works. It doesn't work that way. So you must be ready to learn. While learning, you are earning. You must be interested in joining Zoom sessions. That is why it is very important. You don't just come alone. You always invite your team members. Bring them to the Zoom session so that as you are learning, they are also learning together with you. And not forgetting, this session is also recorded, so you can have a rewatch when it is uploaded on the YouTube channel. All right, so I believe everyone can see my screen. If you cannot see my screen, please let me see a yes on the chat. If you can see my screen, let me see a yes on the chat. Awesome. Okay. Okay, I can see. Yeah, everybody can see my screen. All right, so the first thing you need to do is to download this app you can all see on my screen. The name of the app is WPS Office. I repeat, WPS Office. It is both available on Android devices and also iPhone devices. So just go to your Play Store or Apple Store to search for this app and install it on your phone. Yes, you can also use Excel, but Excel might not be able to work perfectly. That is why I am recommending this app for you guys. It's very important you need to have this app on your phone to open the templates. Okay, if you don't have access to the templates for the newbies with us tonight, please just drop a message on the group where you got this Zoom link from and ask for the Excel sheet. It is going to be shared with you, the RQTMI Excel sheet. So once you're done installing the app, the next thing is to go tap on the Excel sheet to open it with the app. So I already have this app open on my phone. I have this app open on my phone. So as you can see, this is the app. This is the app, and it has opened the Excel sheet. Okay. The next thing you need to do from here is you have to navigate. Okay. If you check the top of my screen, you'll find where you can easily navigate from one settings to the other. You can move to your left or to your right. But if you cannot see, we have dashboard, RQTMI Magic 1, RQTMI Magic 2, Magic 3, down to Magic 8. And you can also tap on dashboard. Once you tap on dashboard, for those who cannot see where dashboard is, you can see magic 1, magic 2. You can swipe to your left and right to move to other settings, okay? So that is it. Now, the first thing is to check on the dashboard. So let me tap on dashboard. This is dashboard. You can see it has opened up a page. Now, on this page, we have settings based on your capital that you can make use of, okay, when you want to trade with your boat. So I'll show you how to make use of the magic 1, magic 3, and magic 5. I repeat, magic 1, magic 3, and magic 5. Why do we make use of magic 1, 3, and 5, and we don't make use of the other ones? It is because we are in the bull season, okay? In the bull season, the settings we make use of is 1, 3, and 5. Magic 1, 3, and 5. Okay. In the bear season, we have settings for the bear season, but we are not talking about the bear season now because this year, next year is for bull season, for the bull run. Some of you might be wondering, what is actually bull run? What am I referring to as the bull run? Especially for the newbies with us tonight, maybe they've never heard of the word bull run before, or this is the first time they're hearing the word. So crypto bull run refers to a period of rapid and sustained price increases in the cryptocurrency markets, driven by growing demand, improved fundamentals, and market sentiment. So this leads to increased investors' interest, and it also helps the price to go up. Okay, so in the bull run, wealth transfer occurs, and only those in a position to take advantage of it will benefit from the wealth transfer. So in the bull run, it means that all the cryptocurrencies will go parabolic in price. That is why you must, I repeat, you must not do anything that will make you miss the bull run. You have to take position. Very, very important. So in the bull run, a lot of money is being made. So that is why we are making use of these settings, because that is the settings that we have configured to be used for the bull run. So magic 1, 3, and 5 is what we are going to be looking into. Okay, so for magic, before I talk about the magic 1, 3, and 5, there's something I really need to draw your attentions to. Okay, now if you look at my right, you see where we have cover for, right? Now for magic 1, it covers for 30% dip. For magic 3, it covers for 25% dip. For magic 5, it covers for 50% dip. What does this mean? RoyalQ has an amazing features, which is called the martingale strategy. That is why this is the best way to trade if you really want to avoid losing money. Unlike when you trade futures and when you trade Forex, you lose money. In sports trading, in the crypto sports trading, you don't lose money, especially when you even use RoyalQ to trade. That's an AI to trade where you take away your emotions, okay, from your trade. Now, when you are trading with your boats, it makes money for you uptrend and downtrend because the market is volatile, okay? It is volatile. It is in the volatility that we are making the money from. So when it is going up, the price is going up, it goes up, goes down, goes up. When it's coming down, it also do the same thing, goes up, goes down when it is going down. So it is in this volatility that we are making the money from. So let's assuming you enter a trade with your boat. It starts to trade for you. Before the price will get to the projected take profit, there is a possibility of the price to drop down a bit before getting to your take profit. If you are following up with me, please let me see a yes on the chat. If you are all following up with what I have been saying, let me see a yes on the chat. Please, I want to take this session very slow for everybody to grab what I am saying, especially for the newbies. I am more concerned about the newbies with us tonight, okay? I want everybody to be on the same page with us. All right, so let's move on, please. So when the price starts to drop down, RioQ makes you money downtrend based on when the price or we shift or change direction to go on an uptrend. I repeat again, when the price is dropping down, RioQ makes you money downtrend, depending on when there is a change in direction of the price of that coin to an uptrend to go and hit your take profits. That is why there is no duration when a trade will sell completely. When you pick your trade, remain patient, take your emotions away from your trade. Let the robots do its thing. The market will do its thing, the robots will do its thing. So at that moment when the price is down, RioQ is making money for you downtrend. It distributes your money accordingly based on the margin calls of the settings. I'll talk about all this when we get into it. Based on the margin calls of the settings you are using. So for Magic One, it covers for 30% dip. What does it mean? It means that when you are trading a coin with Magic One settings, by the time the price drops down by minus 30%, it means the capital you are using to trade that coin would have been used to buy the coin, because it takes the capital, it takes the money from the capital bit by bit by bit until it goes deep by 30%. So when it is done buying all with all your capital, it will be waiting, the robot will be waiting patiently to be in profit to start to sell back, because the robot will never sell for you in a loss. Only profit. We only make profits here, we don't make losses here. So same thing goes to Magic 3, it covers for 25% dip, and Magic 5 covers for 50% dip. Magic 5 is the best settings here. You'll get to understand as we get into it. All right, so let's move on, please. Let's move on, please. Let's go into the Magic One. So I'll tap on Magic One right away. As I tap on Magic One, it takes me to, okay, takes me to Magic One. What's happening? Okay, so now this is Magic One. This is Magic One. And for Magic One, it is stated boldly at the top that what? The minimum capital to make use of is $320. This means that if you have a capital of 320 and above, you can make use of Magic One settings. But remember, we are always recommending you to trade minimum 3 coins, maximum 10 coins on one shot. One shot, okay? So let's assuming you have, let's say 1,500, no, let me use $900, for example. You have $900. You don't know, or let me use $1,000. It's still fine. $1,000. You don't know which settings to make use of, either Magic 1, Magic 3, or Magic 5. And you already know that we say minimum number of coins to trade is 3. So all you need to do is to go to your calculator. You go to your calculator and you check, okay, let me even see how many coins I can trade with 1,000. If I say, okay, let me try divide by 3 to see. Okay, if I say divide by 3, it gave me 333. How about divide by 4? Divide by 4 gave me 250, Magic 3. Okay, but I want to make use of Magic 1 because Magic 1 is better than Magic 3. So I'll stick to 3 coins, which is 333, meaning $333 per trade. You can trade 3 coins at a time. This is what it means. So you go back to that Excel sheet again. For you to get the settings from the Excel sheet, all you need to do is to impute that capital on the remark column. You can see the remark column. Let me use my annotation. You can see the remark in green. The remark, the column. Okay, you tap on it and you impute that 333. But before you do so, please take note for Magic 1, you need to subtract the first buy from the 333. or whichever capital you want to use. Before you slot in the capital on that remark, you need to minus first buy amount. You can see first buy amount is 20. First buy amount is $20. So once you say 333 minus 20 will give you 313. I already have 313 here because the last capital I used was 333. Okay, so you just write your 313 here. Then for you to be sure that you are correct, just go down where you have margin configuration, go down again to multiple buying ratio. You will see it at the bottom here. It shows what? 333, meaning that you are correct. This is how you confirm for an extra confirmation if you are correct, if you're doing the right thing. So now you understand how to do this. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next. Now that you understand how to impute the capital on this magic one, the next thing is to go to your RoyoQ and just copy and paste. Just the way you see all this here is the same thing you impute on your RoyoQ template. RoyoQ has a template that you can save the settings in order for you not to keep on repeating the same process because you want to trade another coin or you want to trade each time. You have to be saving the settings over and no, please. You don't do that. Just save the settings one time. The only time you want to change that settings is when you want to increase your capital. But before we go into how you save the settings on your RoyoQ, I would like to take my time to explain these parameters so that at least you have an understanding of how this works. What are all these parameters used for? So I'll take my time to explain this. So the first one there, it says what? Risk type. What is risk type? Risk type is just how you control the robot to trade for you. If you want it to be as conservative, or you want it to be radical, like aggressive, to quickly buy, sell, or you want it to be steady, not too fast, not too slow, that is what it means. But what we make use of is radical. We want it to be very aggressive, buying, selling. That is why we make use of radical. That is what it means. Remark on RoyoQ. This is the remark on the templates where you have to, for Magic One, you have to minus the first buy before you put in your balance, what you got after you subtract the first buy. But for RoyoQ remark, take note, RoyoQ remark is a description you are going to give to your settings. So let's say you want to save these settings, you are going to put, you can put $333 capital default, because the settings we are looking into first is the RQTMI default settings. We have default settings, we have the RQTMI bull tactics category 1 and bull tactics category 2. But for now, I am showing you guys how to make use of the RQTMI default settings. Some of us will say, what do I mean by RQTMI default settings? It is the settings that will make you money uptrend and downtrend. That is what it means. Okay, so these settings makes you money uptrend and downtrend. All right, so next thing is the what? First buy-in amount. First buy-in amount is the first amount that will be deducted from your capital to open a position for you when you start to trade. Let's say you start a trade right away. Once the robot buys that coin, the first amount that will be deducted from this 333 is $20. Before the price starts to drop down, should in case it starts to drop down, which of course it will drop down to a certain point before it starts to go back up because of the volatility in the market. So once the price starts to drop down, it will start to buy those margin calls for you with your leftover capital, which I will explain that very soon, how it works. Now, the next is open position double. We don't use this. We don't even need this. Why? Because if you're enabling this, it means you want to be multiplying the first buy amount, which your capital will not be able to carry this. If you don't need it, So we don't make use of it. But what it means is the first buy amount will be doubled. Instead of 20, it will do times 2 of it. The AI margin call also don't enable. This controls how it buys the margin calls. We don't use that. We don't use that for RQTMI. Okay, so it says don't enable, meaning you turn it off. Android users, you find this when you are saving the settings, but iPhone users, you won't find this. So take note, it is when you are loading the settings on a coin before you trade is when you get to see the AI margin call, then you can now turn it off before you proceed in saving the settings and go to start the trade. Now, the next is margin call limits. You can see it says what? 20. What does this mean? It means the number of times it will buy for you. It will buy that coin it is trading for you. The number of times it will buy. Let's say you go to the market and you want to buy a product from 10 different shops or 20 different shops at different prices. Okay, that is what it means. You are telling it buy for me 20 times at different price intervals. Okay, that is what margin call limit means. What position take profits? Let me use my notation so that you guys will be following up with. I've done this, and this. So we are here now. What position take profits ratio? What does this mean? It means the final take profits when the robot wants to sell completely and leave the market. Remember, we are making use of one-shot strategy. One-shot strategy means one-time trade. When you enter a trade with one shot, once it sells off completely, it will leave the market and wait for you to give it another instruction on the next coin to trade for you. Unlike the circle strategy, where it will be on fully automated. Once you set it once, it will keep buying, selling, buying, selling. But for one shot, it is a one-time trade. I believe it is well understood. Now, that is the final take profit to make use of, to set your boats to make use of when it wants to finally sell and leave the market. So for the default, it's 3%, but you can edit this based on your choice. Okay. Now, the hold position take profit callback. Hold position take profit callback. What does it mean? Before I talk about hold position take profit callback, I would like to explain something here. When the robot buys the first buy amount, which is also called FBA, first buy amount, and buys the first call to the fourth call, the first margin call to the fourth margin call. Margin calls means when the price starts to drop down, those extra positions that are being opened by the robot are referred to margin calls. I'm trying to break this down so that everybody will understand. When the robot starts to trade for you after it purchases the first buy amount, those extra positions that the robot will start to buy for you are referred to as margin calls. So by the time it buys the first buy amount and buys the first to the fourth call, it takes everything as one single entity. So when it is selling, it will sell everything, and this 3%, this whole position take profit ratio is for this single entity, for the first buy to the fourth call. So if $100 was used to buy those positions, 3% of $100 is what it will give you when it wants to sell completely to leave the market. Please, is this well understood before I move ahead? Is this well understood? Is this well understood, what I just said now? If you understand, let me say yes on the chat. If you don't understand, let me see a no on the chat. If you don't understand, let me see a no on the chat. Okay. All right, let's move on, please. I can see more of the yeses. So that is it for the hold position take profit ratio. Now for the okay, give me a second. Okay. All right. For the hold position take profit callback, what does this mean? You see, it says 0.01. It means 0.01%. What it means is when the robot is trading for you, it is supposed to target 3%, or maybe you're using 1.5%, depending on if you're using signals or you analyze yourself, you're using 1.5%, or you're using signals, you're trading without analysis, 3%, whichever percentage you're using. You are telling the robot that take 3%, right? But what if the price, there's a pump in the price? Because the market is very volatile. It can go beyond the 3%. What would RoyalQ do for you? You are telling RoyalQ, don't sell. Wait until there is a pullback or retracement on the price to maybe whatever percentage you want to use. But what we use here is 0.01% because we want it to quickly sell and take your profit. So if it goes above the 3%, let's say it goes maybe 3.4% or 3.5%, when there's a drop in the price by 0.01%, it will quickly sell and close your trade, meaning you are making more money. That is what it means. For the whole position, take profit callback. How about the buy-in callback? What is this buy-in callback? This buy-in callback controls how it buys the margin call drop. All this, how it buys the margin call drop. Okay. So the same process it uses to sell is the same thing. For the buying, before it will buy the second call, there must be a drop, a retracement by 0.1% to buy. Before it's buy the third call, the same thing is what applies to this margin call drop. Distributed take profits allocation, the 5th to the 20th call, use 1.3%. What does this mean? For this distributed take profits, what it means, before I talk about it, take note that how this RoyalQ works is that from the 5th call downward is where it makes money for you downtrend. Remember, I said first buy amount to the 4th call is a single entity, but from the 5th call, each of them, 5th call, 6th call, each of them are single entity. Single entity. So the 5th call is single, 6th call is single, down to the last call. But from the 5th call is where the robot starts to make money for you downtrend. We call them sub-cells. Sub-cells. The market can go like this and go again and go again. Ranging on this 5th call downward, it will keep buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling, like that, until it finally goes to your projected take profit and then close the trade completely with by selling the first buy amount to the 4th call together as a single entity. This is how the robot has been designed or configured to operate. Okay, but it all depends on the instruction you are giving it. Okay, then the 5th call now. The 5th call means that when it buys a position on the 5th call, opens a position on the 5th call, opens a position on the 6th call, 7th call, let me stop at the 8th call, and from the 8th call, by the time the price wants to start going back up, it will need to sell the 8th call first, give you your capital back and profit, sell the 7th call again, give you your capital and profit, sell until you get to the 5th call, and then until it finally closes the trade and leave the market completely and give you your whatever profit you take profit you're using for your whole position take profit ratio. But from the 5th call downward, it will give you 1.3%. So you can have 1.3%, like 10 times in a day, depending on how it buys those downtrends for those sub-cells for you, those margin call from 5th call downward. All depends on the market volatility. That is why you see sometimes your trade will be saying there's a sell and there's a buy, there's a sell, there's a buy positions happening. All those are sub-cells. They are making money for you downtrend. That is why you cannot compare a manual trader and a robotic trader with a RoyalQ. Both. They are uncomparable. A RoyalQ bot will be more profitable. All right, so that is it for this part. Now the next is what? Sub position take profit callback. This also works the same way this one works for the whole position take profit ratio. For the sub position take profit callback, it controls the 5th call downward. So let's say it is supposed to take 1.3% on the 5th call and it goes above 1.3%. When there is a retracement or pullback or callback of the price, meaning the price dropped down by 0.01%, it will quickly sell and close that position. While the strategy period, one shot, which I've explained already. I've explained one shot. One shot means a one-time trade. We have two types of trade. We have one shot and we have SECU. One shot is a one-time trade. It sells completely, leaves the market, but the SECU, which is autopilot, once it sells, it goes back to the market to keep on buying, selling, until whenever you choose to stop it by changing it to one shot so that when it sells, it will now finally leave the market. Now, for the margin configuration, how does this work? Please pay attention. Please pay attention. And when I am done with my presentation, please, you can ask your questions. You can just write down your questions. In case you have questions to ask, I will give you time for asking questions. All right, so let's move on, please. Now, for the margin configuration, this is the engine of your settings. This is the engine of your settings. Why do I always say it is the engine of your settings? Because that is where the distribution of your capital is done. That is where the distribution of your capital is being done. Now, you can see we have two things there. We have margin call drop and we have multiple buy-in ratio. We have margin call drop in percentage and we have the multiple buy-in ratio. Let's talk about the margin call drop first. Margin call drop is the percentage in price it will have to drop down to, the coin you are trading will have to drop down to before it will trigger and buy a position. So let's assume the robot buys the first buy amount. Before it will need to buy the first call, the price must have dropped down by minus 0.2% to buy. But how much will it use to buy? That is where the mathematics comes in. But you don't need to do all this because the robot will do it for you. Okay, and these templates will generate all this for you. This multi-buying ratio, these figures here, robot generates is for you based on the capital you slot in on that remark. So these figures changes based on your capital. Take note. So for the first call, 0.3 multiplied by first buy, that is what the robot will use. They are saying, robot, use 0.3 to buy a position for me. But 0.3 of what? 0.3 multiplied by first buy amount. Now let's do the maths. Let's do the maths. 0.3 times 20, because the first buy amount for Magic 1 is 20. 0.3 times 20 will give you 6, meaning it will use $6 to buy that first call. When the price drops down again, instead of going up to minus 0.5%, it will trigger again and buy the second call. 1.3 of multiplied by the first buy, 1.3 multiplied by the first buy will give you what? 26. It will use 26 again to buy. This is how this robot does it over and over again. So by the time it buys the first to the fourth call, it takes it as a single entity. But from the fifth call, takes them as each of them from the fifth call downward as a single entity. Fifth call, single entity, sixth call, single entity. And by the time the price of the coin you are trading goes deep by minus 30%, all the capital, which is 333, will be allocated on that coin you are trading. Depending on when the price will start to go back up, then start to sell, until finally sell. If it doesn't sell, it goes down again, buy, sell, buy. That is how it over and over again until it sells. I believe this is well understood. Now let's go to the RoyoQ board so that I'll show you guys how to save these settings. It is very easy. The work has been done here. How I wish we knew all this, or we had all this back then when we started. You see, that's why I said knowledge is very important here. If you lack the knowledge, you cannot make it here. That is why you need to be interested in the learning process while you are earning. Don't fail to learn, please. Don't get discouraged if you are facing floating loss. Floating loss is part of the business. When the bull run comes, you won't forget all those days we're having floating loss because you will make more than those days we are not making money. That's just the fact. Something massive is coming. Just have patience. Be focused on learning to understand the business, so that when the bull run comes, you know how to position yourself with your Royal Q boat and make as much as you can. Just take your buckets and fetch as much dollars as you can. That is just the fact. So let's move on to my Royal Q app so that I'll show you how to save the settings on your Royal Q. Now, this is my Royal Q. The next step from here is to tap on the mine. You can see the mine button at the bottom right of my screen. You tap on mine. Once you tap on mine, this happens. A page comes up like this. Then you tap on my strategy settings. You can all see my strategy settings, right? That's the place where you save your templates. That exact template you have on your Excel sheet is what you come here and save. And it's a one-time thing. Only when you want to increase your capital, you now have to use another settings to save another setting. You can see I have a lot here. So next thing from here is to tap on the plus icon. You tap on the plus icon. You can see the plus icon top right of my screen. Once you tap on the plus icon, it takes you to this page. You can see this is the exact page we have on the Excel. And as you can see, the first here is risk type. And on the Excel, what does it say we should use? Radical. You tap on here, tap on this steady, the drop down arrow to change it to what we have on the template, which is radical. Now you tap on radical and you tap on sure. Now that we've switched it to radical, what is the next step from here? The remark. Remember, I made mention of the remark for RoyalQ. I said the remark for RoyalQ is a description of your settings, okay, or a description of you want to give to your settings, okay? So for my own is $333 capital. Just keep it simple. It don't need to write too much here. You can say default because this is default settings. 33 capital defaults, okay? If it's bull tactics, you're saving, you say bull tactics. Now, we are done with the remark. What is the first buy amount? First buy amount, let's head back to the templates. What is the first buy amount? You can see first buy amount here says what? Use $20. Now we go back to the RoyalQ and you change this 15 to 20. Change this 15 to 20. Then the next is open position double, don't enable. It is turned off already. So leave it like this, the way it is, it's already turned off. AI margin, turn it off by tapping on it. You tap on it, you can see it will be switched off. Now it is switched off. Margin call limit on the template, it says use 20 margin call limit. So I have changed it to 20. What position take profit ratio? 3. Leave it on 3. You can edit this based on your take profit when you want to enter a trade. Now, the what position take profit callback 0.01. Okay. Distributed take profit. Okay, sorry. Margin configuration. We are going to do this to come last. Let this come last. Okay, buy-in callback 0.01. Distributed take profit allocation 1.3% from the 5th call to the 20th call. So let's confirm if it's correct. You tap on it, you can see it is already there. So we don't need to save anything or change anything. We don't need to edit anything or change anything. Just leave it the way it is because on the template, it says use 1.3% all through to the 20th call. So you tap on sure. Sub position take profit callback 0.01. Now, strategy period, you can see it says use one shot. Use one shot. Okay, so let's go back again and switch that to one shot. How do we switch this? A lot make mistake here. They forget to switch it and leave it on circle. Please don't do so. Always remember to tap on it to switch it from circle to one shot. So you tap on this circle where we have circle, and then once you tap on it, it will switch to one shot. So just watch me do so. Now I've tapped it. You can see it has switched back to one shot. The last step is margin configuration, which is the engine of engine room of your settings. Now let's tap on it. You can see the same page we have on the template. From the first, we have margin call drop and we have multiple buying ratio. So from the first call, we start to edit based on what we have on the templates. I'm not going to do everything. Let me just 0.2, 0.5, 0.2, 0.5, 0.3, 1.3, 0.3. You see, I'm reading from here. I'm not, what we have on the template is what I'm putting. And then let me stop at the fourth call at 1.3. Then you do everything and make sure you don't make any mistake here, because especially the multiple buying ratio, if you make any mistake here on these figures, it will affect your capital. So ensure you confirm again and again before you tap on sure, before you save it, to be sure it is the same thing you have on the template. Now, when we are done, you now tap on sure. I'll tap on sure. Okay, that is how you save. Let me tap on sure. Once you tap on sure, you tap on save. You tap on save. Ensure you tap on save to save your work. And that is all. It will be added to your template. So when you want to trade, you just go select the template, whichever template you want to use, or to load it on the coin, and then you go and start your trade. Before you start your trade, you tap on sub-in mode return settlement so that it will make you money downtrend. If you don't tap on sub-in mode return settlement, it won't make you money downtrend. There's a script I do share on how you can start your trade. Let me share the script to you guys. And there are videos there on the YouTube channel where you can also watch how to start your trade. I think I'll show you guys how to start trade tomorrow on our tomorrow session. Well, let me just drop the script. So just give me a second. Let me look for it. There's the script. Okay, I've seen it. Let me drop it right away. All right, so if you check the charts on the Zoom, you'll find the script. That's the script on how to start a trade. Steps on how to start a trade on RioQ. So you can just copy and save it somewhere, keep it safe somewhere. All right, so let's move on. Now that this part is done and well understood, before we move on to Magic 3, is this well understood for Magic 1? Do you now know how to use Magic 1 based on your capital? Remember, you have to subtract 20 before you put the capital on the mark. Do you now understand how to use Magic 1 settings before we move on to Magic 3? Please let me hear from you guys. Let me see your responses on the chat. Don't worry, the session is recorded. You can watch over and over and over again. Awesome. All right, let's proceed, please, to the Magic 3. So for the Magic 3, all you need to do, you swipe at the top again, you move to Magic 3, navigate to Magic 3, you tap on Magic 3, and it brings up this page. It brings up this page. Magic 3 is different. What do I mean by different? How you slot in your capital on the remark is different. But we talk about that. You can see Magic 3 says minimum capital to use Magic 3 is $100. So this means that if you have below 100, you cannot make use of these settings. In fact, RQTMI settings is minimum trading capital of 100 and above. So let's say you have 300, you can trade 3 coins with Magic 3. You have $600, you can trade 3 coins with Magic 3 to 200 per trade. 300, 100 per trade. So for you to make use of 600, for example, 600 means you are going to use 200 per trade, but you don't need to subtract 20. Sorry. You don't need to subtract 15, because if you look at the first buy amount for Magic 3 is $15. You can see first buy amount for Magic 3 is $15. So you don't need to subtract. You don't need to subtract. Just impute your capital on the remark, everything there without subtracting the first buy, unlike the Magic 1 where you have to subtract the first buy. So you are going to write 200 and tap on enter to confirm. So you see, now we have 200, but we can still verify if we are correct. How do you verify? You go down to the margin configuration, multiple buying ratio. You can see here, we have 200, meaning that we are correct. This is how you confirm you are correct. Then the next thing is to go to your RioQ and save these settings based on how I showed you guys. That is it. That is it. This is for Magic 3. For Magic 5, let's swipe to Magic 5. This is the best settings. This is the best settings, which I will explain why I said so. Okay, but the minimum capital to make use of for Magic 5, take note, is 520, meaning 520 and above. See, 520 and above. So let's assuming you have $1,800 or $2,000, and you want to confirm which settings will be suitable for you to, or will be the best for you to use. All you need to do is to say 2,000 divide by, you can say divide by 3. Divide by 3, we give you 666. Divide by 4, we give you 500. But since Magic 5 is 520, you can just do 3. So that I can trade 3 coins with your 2,000. So you can use 666 per trade. Let's move back to the Magic 5. Magic 5 works the way Magic 1 works. I mean, how you impute the capital is the same process for Magic 1. So it means that we are going to subtract 660s or whatever capital you are using, the minimum capital for Magic 5, from the first buy amount, which is 20. So you say 666 minus 20 will give you 646. That's why we have 646 here, because that was the last thing I used, 646. And for you to confirm, you go down again to your multiple buying ratio, you see we have 666 here. That shows that we are correct. This is how you use your Magic 5. And one good thing about Magic 5 is that when it buys the first to the fourth call, 50% of your capital is already on the trade. I repeat, once it buys the first buy amount, then first to the fourth call. First buy amount, first to the fourth call, which is a single entity, 50% of your capital is already allocated on the trade, while the remaining 50% will be distributed to the 5th to the 24th call, because Magic 5 is 24 margin call limits. This is very easy, but you have to understand this condition so that you won't make any mistake, because some people will make mistake because they didn't follow instructions. That's why I'm trying to break it down so that you jot down necessary information so that when you are doing this, you know what to do and what not to do. So this is the RQTMI default settings that makes your money uptrend and downtrend. Now let's talk about the bull tactics. We have bull tactics category 1 and bull tactics category 2. Bull tactics category 1 has conditions that you need to agree to before you make use of it. What are the conditions? The first condition is that you are not making money downtrend for bull tactics category 1. Yes, you don't make money downtrend, you only make money uptrend, but when it sells, you make 100% profit, you make whatever take profits of a 100% capital. I repeat, let's say you're using 3% take profits or 1.5% take profits. 1.5% take profit of your 100% capital is what you are making. So your total capital, 1.5% of your total capital is what you make when it sells. That is the difference from the bull tactics category 1 and the RQTMI default settings. 3 conditions again: you don't make money, you only make money uptrend, you don't make money downtrend, but when it sells, whatever is your take profit, you make that take profit of your total capital, meaning you're making more money. How do you make use of the bull tactics category 1? Simple. Pay attention. For Magic 5 and Magic 1, it is the same process, but Magic 3 is not the same, which when we get to Magic 3, I will explain. But for Magic 5, I will only show you for Magic 5 Magic 1 is the same process. Just use the same process for Magic 5. So for Magic 5, remember I said bull tactics category 1 is what we are talking about before we talk about the bull tactics category 2. You don't make money downtrend, only uptrend. So you are telling robot, when you get to the fourth call, don't buy any margin call for me again. Just stop at the fourth call. And then the remaining capital, leftover capital to be used to buy the fifth call, you are using it to do what we call manual replenishment. What do I mean by manual replenishment? It means you are manually buying. You are adding a new position yourself manually without the robot doing it for you. So, but how do we stop this robot from buying the fifth call? Because it will buy the fifth call because of the settings that was already used on the trade. Very easy. You save another settings and name it bull tactics category 1. So that it will not interfere with your default settings. Save a new settings. But when you're saving it, edit the fifth call, margin call drop, and change what you have there to 50%. That's the only thing you change, because you don't want it to buy the fifth call downward. And before, it's going to be very difficult right now for a coin to go deep by 50%. That's why we're using 50%, so that it will stop on the fourth call and remain there like that, and then be waiting until it finally sells to give you your profits. So the remaining leftover capital, how do you now calculate to get the leftover capital? Now it is your multiplying ratio. So we want to calculate the leftover capital from the fifth call downward that you are using to do what we call manual replenishment. It's very easy to do manual replenishment. Once your trade is up and running, open the coin, open the trade, look for buy. You tap on buy, you tap on market price. Make sure you tap on it. It should change color to blue that it has been selected, market price. Under the market price, you find a column where you impute, you write the leftover capital you want to use for your manual buy, and you tap on short. That is how you do it. Very easy. If you check, you see it on your phone, you see buy, you see sell, but you tap on buy because we are manually buying. So, but how do you calculate the leftover capital? You add the first to the fourth call. 1.6 plus 6.5 plus 1.6 plus 6.5. Now let's do it together. Let's do the math together. 1.6 plus 6.5 plus 1.6 plus 6.5. It gave me what? 16.2. Whatever you get, you add plus 1 to it. You add plus 1 to it. So 16.2 plus 1. 16.2 plus 1. 17.2. Then now the final step is to multiply it by the first buy amount. First buy amount is 20. 17.2 multiplied by 20 will give me $344. Now that we have this, you should already know how much leftover capital it will be. All you need to do is to say your total capital, which is 666, allocated on that trade, minus 344. 666 minus 344. So you are going to use 322 to do your manual replenishment. Once the robot picks up the first buy amount, you don't need to wait for it to start to buy margin calls. No, once it picks up, it's fine. You can go ahead and use your leftover capital to do the manual replenishment. Easy as that. All right, so that is it for the bull tactics category 1. Okay. Now for the bull tactics category 2, how do you make use of it? For the bull tactics category 2, you are telling robots, make me money downtrend to a certain point. Now, what is the certain point I'm talking about? Make money for me downtrend to the 10th call. To the 10th call. But from the 11th call downward, don't buy. I will use the leftover capital to do manual replenishment. So on the 11th call, you change it to 50% when you are saving the settings. Simple. Then how do you know the leftover capital from the 11th call downward? The same process. Add the first to the 10th call, whatever you get plus 1, whatever you get multiply by first buy, which is 20. Whatever you get, the capital for that trade, 666 minus what you got will give you your leftover capital. If this is understood, let me see 111 on the chart. If this is understood, please, the bull taxes category 1, let me see you type 111, 111 on the chart. Please, I want to be sure everybody is on the same page. You have no reason being here not to understand this. Okay. All right. Queen Amanda said no. Okay, which part, please? Which parts you don't understand? Is it everything you don't understand? Let me see it on the chart. Just tell me which part you don't understand. Just write it on the chart, please. I will explain. Now, that is it for the bull tactics category 2 for Magic 5. You don't understand everything. Don't worry. I believe you are just a newly activated member. So you have nothing to worry about. You cannot learn everything in one day. It's a gradual process. I will advise you to rewatch the recording and work with your upline. Okay, work with your upline. Watch the recording. Keep on attending Zoom sessions. Keep on asking questions. That is the best way to grow fast, to learn this business fast. All right, so that is it for the bull taxes category 2 using Magic 5. Now let's move on to bull tactics. Let's move on to Magic 3. Remember I said this bull tactics category 1 and 2 is the same process for Magic 1. Now let's look at the Magic 3. How do you use bull tactics for Magic 3? For your information, Magic 3, you can only use bull tactics category 1. You cannot use bull tactics category 2 with Magic 3. So for you to make use of the bull tactics category 1 on Magic 3, all you need to do is to stop it from buying the second call to the 7th call. So you're only interested in the bull to buy the first call, then the capital, which is the leftover capital for the second call to the 7th call, will be used to do your manual replenishment once the robot picks up the first buy. So in this case, on the second call, you stop it from buying. So you change this 5 to 50%. Then how do you know the leftover capital? For this capital is 200, which we use as an example. You go to the first call, which is 2.3, and let's do the math again with the formula. 2.3 plus 1 will give you 3.3. We're only using one margin in the first call because we don't want it to buy the second call. That's why I said 2.3. So 2.3 plus 1 will give you 3.3. 3.3 multiplied by the first buy. For Magic 3, first buy is 15. It gives 49.5. What is the capital? For this capital is 200. 200 minus 49.5. 150.5. Forget about the 0.5. Use your 150 to do your manual replenishment. Manual replenishment is the same way you can compound. For those who are confused when we are saying compound, let's assume you are on a trade and it sells. Your next trade, once you load your settings, if it's the default settings, for example, once it starts to trade for you, just go tap on buy and you add your compounding capital. Let's say you've made a profit of, or let me say you add your compounding profit. Let's say you made a profit of $20. You now use 20 to do manual replenishment so that it will be added to your first buy to your fourth call, because anything you add as a manual replenishment is being added to the single entity. So when it is selling, you make more money. So it's similar to how you do your compounding. So take note, for those using bull tactics, so you want to compound, you can compound. When you are doing your manual replenishment with your leftover capital, add the profit made on your previous trade together, and then you compound everything together, simple as that. So this is how you use the bull tactics category 1, category 2, and the RQTMI default settings. Take note, we always say this. For you to maximize your profit, if you are trading 3 coins, two coins should be on default settings, 1 should be on bull tactics category 1. If you are trading 4 coins, 2 should be on default settings, 2 should be on bull tactics category 1. If you are trading 5 coins, 3 should be on default settings, 2 should be on bull tactics category 1. You can also do the other way around. All depends on how patient you are. You can do 3. If you are trading 5 coins, you can do 3 on, if you are trading 5 coins, you can do 3 on bull tactics, 2 on default. It all depends on how patient you are. But if you're not the patient type, please just stick to 2 on default, 1 on bull tactics, 3 on default, 2 on bull tactics category 1. So I think this will be the end of this session. I hope I've been able to explain this in a way everybody here will understand. Please, it's time for question. If you have any question, I can see even before we started this session, Queen Binta has been raising up her hand. I don't know what she has to say, but please, you can unmute your mic if you can hear me, Queen Binta. Are you there, Queen Binta? Is Queen Binta still with us, please? Queen Binta, if you can hear me, please, you can unmute your mic and speak up. If you have any questions, feel free to raise up your digital hand so that I will unmute you to speak up. Okay, it seems Queen Binta is no more with us. If you have any questions, you can raise up your digital hands to be unmuted to speak up. Okay, it shows that everything is clear and understood, and it seems there are no questions. Everybody here understands everything that was being taught tonight. Okay, I can see Dr. Davis said, excellent teaching. Thank you very much. I'm glad everybody here understood everything that was being taught. Please, you can go back to the recording once it is uploaded on the channel so that you can rewatch. In fact, best advice is to download the video. You can download the video, use save. Okay, let me drop a link you can use to download videos from the channel. Just give me a second. A site I used to download. So I'll drop it right away. So you can always use this link to download videos from YouTube. Just copy the YouTube link, paste it on the search bar. You'll see where you have download, and you can download it on your devices and watch. So that I don't use data all the time when you want to watch those videos. I hope that was helpful. All right, so thank you so much. Okay, I can see a question. Please, I just started last month using $100. This saga has been floating since 9th of July. Why? Yeah, that's because you are only trading 1 coin. And when you're trading 1 coin, you just have to be patient. Once you pick a trade, please remain patient. If you are experiencing floating loss, try to get another capital to open another coin, okay? Open a new coin so that you keep on making money, depending on when the previous coin will sell. Okay, please have this in mind that this is a business that you need at least minimum of 3 to 5 years to be successful. It is not a get rich quick, but it is a get rich slow. It takes time, patience, perseverance, and consistency to really make it here, okay? So please take note that if you have a small capital, try your best to find options on how you can raise your trading capital, because RioQ is all in one. It has everything. Just that people are not ready to do the work, to put in the work. You have the affiliate side of RioQ. You have the affiliate side of RioQ that you can use to build your trading capital. Yes, I know it's not easy to do that, but yes, if people are doing it, why can't you? Those people don't have, they are not unique. We all have the same head. It's just all about putting in the work. Okay, you put in the work and you build a team. Just imagine you earning this from just sharing this business with people, with your loved ones. You can see on my screen, this is the passive side of my RoyalQ. You can see how much I've been able to earn. People have made more than this, far more than this. Okay? And that does not mean that you cannot even make more than this. So if people are doing this, ordinary people are making extraordinary results from both their trading result and their affiliate side of the business. So what makes you think you can't? You can if you are ready to put in the work. So that's just it. So when people are complaining that they don't have capital and their trade is on floating loss, yes, floating loss is part of the business. If you need more capital, sell the software. People need this. People need the information. Information is power. Information is money. People are tired of getting scammed. You have a system that is working. You know they are not losing money. Tell them the truth. This is not a get rich quick. It takes time. But we are in the bull run. We are in the bull run. We are about to experience something massive in the crypto space where people will make a lot of money. So this is the best time I would even advise anyone to come in, not last year when we are in the bear season. Now is the bull run. Take advantage of this year and next year, make a lot of money, keep building so that you benefit from the bull run. I believe it's well understood. Please put in the work. No sleeping. People are sleeping on this business. Those who are building now are the ones that will smile later. So take your time, understand the business, and sell the business aggressively. Aggressively. Hunger is everywhere. Things are difficult. We are earning, this is dollars we're talking about. So imagine a cash flow, a system that is earning you every single day, even without doing anything. Yes, you put in the work, but at the long run, you are sleeping, you're making money. Free money. This is free money. So think about it. If you really want to change your life, trade and sell the business. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate your time tonight. See you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Bye-bye from this side, everybody.